Hello everyone, it's NotaNoobPat, and welcome to Perk Review. Today we're taking a look at the General Killer Perk, Hex, No One Escapes Death. From here forward, I'm going to just be calling it by its shorter and more familiar name, NOED. Once the 5th generator is completed, a randomly selected dull totem will be converted to a Hex totem for this perk. This means if there are no totems remaining, the perk will not activate. While this Hex perk is active, all survivors suffer from the exposed status effect, meaning you can instantly put them into the dying state. On top of that, movement speed is also increased 4% at tier 3. If the Hex totem is cleansed or never activated, the perk will not grant you the speed burst or the exposed status effect. The pro to this perk is, it could hypothetically lead to an unlimited exposed status effect in the endgame. This perk is a great insurance policy. If you are playing like trash, the speed boost and the exposed status effect should be good enough to at least get you one more hook. The con with this perk is, everyone knows this perk exists, and I'm not exaggerating. It's a general killer perk, meaning that anyone can unlock it for any killer. Many survivors will cleanse all the dull totems to even prevent this perk from activating at all. People know this perk is out there, and they really don't want you to use it. Finally, this perk is up there for one of the most toxic perks in the game. People generally consider NOED a crutch perk, so you're gonna get some salty survivors in the chat after the game, whether you use this perk effectively or not. You gotta be ready for that, I'm just trying to warn you. Let's get into our demonstration. Here, all the generators are powered, so I hit a survivor into the dying state since NOED is active. The survivor is exposed, so even though they're healed, they're still gonna go down due to this perk. Now the survivor is going to cleanse the Hex totem. Since they no longer suffer from the exposed status, when I hit them, they are injured instead of going into the down state like normal. The speed boost is also going to disappear when this happens. Furthermore, NOED will become unlit in the perk window when the Hex totem is broken. Let's get into our video examples. This first example could be what happens, and it is the obvious weakness for this perk. No less than 20 seconds after the final generator is completed and NOED activates, listen to what happens. That's right, the survivor found the Hex totem and broke it, so I'm out of luck for the rest of the game. Of course, this is always the risk with any of the Hex totem perks. For our next example, I pick up Jake as the final generator is completed and NOED activates. I get lucky with my Hex placement because it is right next to the hook that I put Jake on. I should be able to reasonably patrol it. When the other survivor is unhooked, I'm able to run over the Cheryl who is now exposed and I can hit her directly into the dying state. For some reason, the recently unhooked survivor also wants another smack to the face, and down he goes again. After the hook, I'm able to see that the final healed survivor is running over to unhook Jake. I'm able to chase him down, get a hit in, and then I'm going to immediately hook him. Again, another healthy survivor, right into the dying state. Then, it's simple from here on out. Every survivor is now hurt or sick. I'm able to continue to go to work for the rest of the match. There's just not much the survivors can do in this situation, except for to try to find the Hex and heal up afterwards, or else the pain's going to continue. Speaking of which, I figure out that Cheryl has noticed where my Hex is, and I'm able to down her again, and put her into the dying state. It's game over, I'm about to get the 4K. As you can see with this gameplay, I just went off. And yes, the chat was extra toxic after the game. You guys don't get to see that though. For our next example, we have more of the same from NOED. Right as I down the Fang Ming, the 5th generator is completed, and it's time to go to work again. I've paired NOED with Remember Me, which extends the time it takes to open the exit gates. So if I find someone on the door with NOED, they're gonna be toast. I chase down Nancy and I'm able to immediately put her into the dying state. After she's hooked, Jane decides to unhook Fang Ming, and I'm able to make her pay for that. Within a minute of the 5th generator being finished, I've now hit 2 survivors directly into the dying state that were otherwise healed. Now Nancy appears to be looking for the Hex totem upstairs, but she should have checked the totem spawn downstairs first. Either way, it's too late to save her. Since I also have Rancor on, I'm able to Mori her. After I kill Nancy, I'm able to walk back to the exit gate and I reacquaint myself with Fang Ming and Jane. I'm able to put both of them right back in the dying state, and I'm on fire right now. The only person I have left to go is healthy and somewhere on the map. I'm going to walk over to check on my Noed hex, and look who I find. The Claudette has located the totem, but she wasn't able to cleanse it in time. I'm now able to run her off the totem, and I eventually down her after a long chase. So what just happened? I ended up immediately downing 3 separate healthy survivors who were exposed this game due to Noed. These 2 examples were as good as it gets. When the 5th generators were completed, I didn't have a single survivor dead. Then before the gates are opened in either game, I had a complete 4-kill game. Strong examples, so let's give it a grade. Hex No One Escapes Death is an 8 out of 10. The only reason this perk wasn't a 9 or a perfect 10 is because everyone knows this perk exists at this point. Many survivors will look for this hex as soon as they finish the final generator, or survivors will commonly cleanse all 5 totems before the last generator is even completed to negate this perk. Even with that in mind, this perk is too good to give anything lower than an 8. You saw the examples. So now you guys know why so many people use this perk. The exposed status effect and the speed boost is just too nice to pass up for many killer mains. If the hex is active, you're practically guaranteed another hook or another kill with this perk. Whether you like it or not, this perk is almost everyone's guilty pleasure. You know it's toxic, but it's almost too much fun not to use. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave it a like. If you want to check out more perk review, make sure to look for the links in the description and visit my channel to subscribe. I stream twice a week on Twitch if you want to stop by as well. Take it easy.